still wrong to say, sir, good morning.
No. You good?
I'm good. What keeps Africans an ever-relevant topic and something to have poetry about?
We are Africans.
Yeah.
I mean, we are Africans by default. We are here, we live here. And for us, it's always a question of who we are, where are we going? You know, are we progressing? Are we regressing? So it's always relevant. And you know, it's cliche, but it's always said that, you know, it gets pigeonholed down to a day, but at least it's a day where people can sort of, you know, officially recognize and reflect on their Africanness, per se, and the duty that they have as Africans. So I think it's an ongoing theme, and I think now more important than ever, that every day is almost like an Africa Day, where young people are looking at themselves as Africans more than just South Africans, but as Africans, and what is my contribution towards the continent? What role am I playing? What opportunities are there? Do I know young people from Kenya, from Malawi, from Senegal, you know, am I interacting with my continent, or am I just, you know, in the south, you know, happy in my backyard? You know, so I think it's an ongoing concern, and should be taken seriously.
I mean, you call yourself Afurakan, and you know that's very significant in reference to Africa Day. How did you come up with that name?
From research, there was an article that I read by Dr. Hlongwan, I think, and Miss Mandela. I can't remember what year it was, but it spoke about an entire African civilization and culture and system of lifestyle called the Afurakan calendar. Everything was backwards. There were 13 months, 28 days in a month. So it was an entire civilization that existed, that made sense, that Africans used to draw themselves forward. So when I read up on that, I was like, but wow, this is not taught in a high school, you know. And for me, that name, Afurakan, which is one of the original names for the continent, that stuck with me, because it sort of, it was not even an alias anymore. It's, but this is who I am, you know, and it's just an extension of me. So I think Afurakan for me has just, you know, just been amazing.
What are the things that we as Africans should be proud of?
A lot. I mean, like right now, technology, I'm most excited about technology as well. If you look at what Africans are doing with mobile technology, if you look at Kenya, the kind of innovation that we're doing, even here in South Africa as well, I think we are going to take technology forward. You know, I think previously we were seen as people who just consume technology, but now we are starting to create our own technology. If you look at mobile money, none of the Western countries are using mobile money. Africans are the only people, because we are responding to local conditions and to needs on the ground. So I think we've got a huge opportunity to drive the IT sector forward. Creativity as well, using digital platforms. I think that's a huge opportunity for Africans. You know, for example, in the arts, your CD market is dying, but now digital distribution is now the big thing. You can get your music or your poems straight to people's phones, you know. So how do we take advantage of that? For me, that's the exciting bits of it. That's the new economy. That's us Africans owning our own industries and our own creativity. Well,
you know, during the week we were talking to like a trend analyst who spoke about the African print and how suddenly the world is realizing what the African print does. Spoken word-wise, are we there yet with the rest of the world?
Yes, we are. I think I've been fortunate in my work with Word and Sound that I get to travel. I was in London last week performing at the Royal Court. Full house, absolutely smash hit. And we've had some poets as well from the UK, from the US, from Australia come into the country. Standard-wise, we are on par. We are writing amazing work. We're experimenting. We're incorporating audio, video, dance, photography into our writing and just extending spoken word. So I think we are on par. The only challenge is that we don't have historical institutions that have driven spoken word. So now it's up to us to then start those institutions. So there's a building, there's a center where you know what, the last 15 years, this building has produced some of the greatest poets and spoken word artists in the continent. So that's our step, because in the UK they've got the Roundhouse, which is 100 years old and has been a cultural institution. The Royal Court itself, you know, it's the first public art space in the UK, and it's still around and it's still doing influential work. So for us now, it's about building those institutions. But the talent, the creativity is world class.
Are you surprised at how they received your work? I mean, London, you were there, Libonapo,
yes,
not?
Libonapo,
Yes. And how is it that art can travel so many miles away and people still accept it anyway?
For me, the most amazing thing was that, I mean, with the playwrights that we travel with, we're just doing readings. So not full plays, we're reading the plays. People paid £8 and it was packed the entire week. In South Africa, you can't even fill a house with a full production, you know. So I think for us, it's exciting to see how our work is relevant to other countries, to other people. But it's because the human story is the same. The human challenge is the same. We are always trying to find solutions, trying to move from one problem to another. So I think for us, it was, reassuring that our stories are still relevant and we don't have to be stuck in the past. We can tell stories of present-day South Africa and going forward, and that's what people are excited about. All
right, thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you.
Two more performances from you. Men of Words, Thabiso Mohare or Afurakan with us this morning to help us celebrate Africa Day. Well, let's take a break. Stay with us.